today believe that people 500 years ago thought would happen when they reached the end of the world. Kind of silly, isn't it? Well, I'm here to tell you the truth and why you don't already know it. I know because I did my research. Now, according to a recent survey I did in this class, 60% of you believe that people used to think the world was flat. This emphasizes the problem of the modern situation, the modern mythology we face. Now, many of us are taught in school that Christopher Columbus discovered the world was round in 1492, that he sailed across the ocean blue, blah, 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 that sort of thing. Some of us are taught eventually that that's not exactly what happened. Well, they're still left with the idea that someone thought the world was flat. There was some argument about that was what the objection was about. Well, I'm going to show you a video briefly showing what the actual argument was about during his time, and this is by Discovery Channel. It's 1 minute long.
I'm going to do it, Bartholomew. I'm going to find the east by sailing west.
Christopher, look at all this ocean. You can't cross it.
I am going west.
Notice the globe?
Nice.
No one will take you seriously, Christopher. No one.
King John will. Just wait and see.
And notice the source?
Get him out of here!
Yes, he was laughed at. He was laughed at because who would sail over that much ocean?
Well, how did it go? Not bad. Not bad. It's just a matter of time.
Now, as you can see here, the issue had to do with the size of the ocean. Now, they knew how big the ocean was because they knew the circumference of the Earth. Back in the time of Aristotle, he accurately measured the complete circumference of the Earth without ever having going anywhere, just by looking at the curvature. Any sailor sailing the ocean could see the curvature. No one thought it was flat, but no one believed there was anything in the way either. Now, lately, we see a recent development in school systems where they are starting to give credit where credit is due. Here is a screenshot from an elementary school website. And here they begin to they show the myth that people thought he proved the Earth was round. And they credit Aristotle's studies 2,000 years before Columbus. So they're finally starting to talk about who really discovered the world was round, and that no one seriously thought it was flat. Well, here's why many people think it was flat. This is a map from Columbus's time. Many elementary schools had it in their heads that this was a flat world map. It's easy to mistake this as a flat world. After all, it's spread flat, isn't it? Well, do you notice something about this map? Seems a bit interesting, a little familiar. Here is a modern map. See the similarities? The details are not right in the old one, but at least there was a curvature. Now, one thing I should add about this is that this map is over 1,000 years old. And here is a school website showing it in their curriculum. So elementary schools routinely put this in their textbooks as part of the explanation that people thought it was flat, which is just, an interpretation. Of course, many were thinking, well, that's just my interpretation. How do you know that this isn't a flat world map? Maybe it's a coincidence. Here is a globe completed in 1492, before Columbus set sail on his voyage. He actually had a copy of this on his ship when he set sail. Proof positive that they knew the world was round. Globes. Now, of course, this wasn't completely accurate. After all, they thought there was a huge body of water on the other side. No one's been there, so why would they think it? But a globe just the same. Now, in conclusion, we can see that no one seriously believed that the world was round way back, was flat, way back then. People today think that they thought it was flat, but it really came from an interpretation of old stories, for the most part. The old epic tales of the edge of the world, the artwork, the fantasy. But that's kind of like if in 500 years' time, they look at us and say, they must have had warp drives, because they watched Star Trek. Well, so really, it was all dumb luck. They were right in laughing at him, but because if he really sailed across that and America wasn't in the way, he would have run out of supplies. No one questions that. But today we like to fancy the people who discovered this land. But of course, as Europeans knew the world over, that 2,000 years ago, at least since the time of Aristotle, everyone knew the world was round.